Hello, my name is Lanji Sokontwe, and we're here at the Inside Chadley House School podcast, joined by Pastor Paswani.
Yeah.
Later on, we'll be joined by my co-host, Chawumba. So, Pastor Paswani, you're a relationship coach, and I would like to get some insight as a school student. Not only in examination classes do we have to question ourselves.
Yeah.
We have children in junior secondary, senior secondary, and of course they're seeing new people, they're experiencing new feelings and whatnot. So are there questions you can ask yourself, like as a coach, do you have methods that you use or give to young adults or students that they can ask themselves so that they can be stable and in control of how they pursue relationships and their academic life?
Yes. One of the question is, who am I? Right? Who am I? And that's an identity issue. Why that is an important question for you to ask yourself is because a lot of people get into relationships with people that they feel can fill a void that is missing or a void within themselves. But if you ask yourself, who am I? And you take time to really discover yourself, like discover who you are, like take time, take interest in yourself. For me, I always looking at it as dating yourself. Like, take time to date yourself. Like, you know, like when you're getting to know someone, or maybe you might not know, but generally when people are getting to know someone, right, they will ask us, so what's your favorite color? What do you like doing in your spare time? What movies do you like? Take time to really discover who you are, what you like, who you are about. Ask God that, why am I on this earth? And that's a very important question, because when you get to understand who you are from a place of identity, it informs other things that you're able to do. It informs who you can hang out with and who you cannot. It informs where you can go and where you cannot go. It informs how you can spend your time and things that are not worth your time. So one of the key questions that you can ask yourself when you're trying to avoid certain vices is really just, who am I?
It's important. So self-perception is important, knowing who you are. So thank you so much, Pastor Paswani, my co-host, to further on ask questions.
So, in your opinion, sir, what would you say is true love?
Okay, so Chavo, true love is one of the best ways to define love is to actually think about what love is not. So most people think that love is an emotion or love is a feeling. It's also important to differentiate the fact that love is not infatuation, love is not attraction, right? But love really is a commitment. Love is a doing word. It is a commitment that is based on the decisions that you make to commit to someone. And 1 Corinthians 13 is one of the best places to go to when you're trying to define what love is, because it tells us that love is patient, love is kind, love is long-suffering, love is not boastful or envious, it does not puff itself up. So when you look at it from that context, you realize that beyond the feelings that people get when they think they are in love, really love is about the things that you do and the basis from which you do them. And when it comes to relationship, a lot of that is commitment.
In our earlier conversation, as you are talking to everyone, you mentioned you interact with people under the school. So, in your line of work, what's the biggest challenge you faced with communicating or interacting with people?
Okay. One of the biggest challenges that I have seen is that a lot of people want to date someone before they learn how to date themselves. So people want someone else to do for them what they are meant to be doing for themselves. People want to be validated externally, and yet validation should always be an internal aspect. So I would want to always encourage people that before you even think about dating someone, telling someone else that you love them, or waiting for someone to tell you that they love you, why not date yourself? Why not tell yourself that you love yourself? Why not be good, be kind, be patient with yourself? So I think discovering who you are is something that is important before you think about discovering someone else.
On that topic, where I said people should love themselves, I think most people don't do that nowadays because they see it as abnormal, like not okay to love themselves in that way. They see it as a mental illness, basically.
Yeah.
Because most parents or people around us say, why should you love yourself? There's no point in you directing love to yourself than others. Like, you go in the mirror, you talk to yourself, like, they see that as not normal.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
You cannot give what you do not have. And so even when Christ taught, he said that I want you to love your neighbors how? As you love yourself. So that means that if you do not love yourself, there is no way that you can love anyone else. Because what parameter are you using to love them when you do not know what love is from the context of loving yourself? And that is why it's important to fill your bucket up first before you try to pour out into anyone else's cup. Before you try to pour out into a girlfriend's cup, into a neighbor's cup, into anyone else's cup, pour into your cup first. Fill yourself up with love, care for yourself, love yourself, appreciate yourself, be grateful to God for who you are just the way that you are. Whether you are tall, you are short like me, whether you are dark, whether you are light, right? It's important for you to appreciate the fact that there's a reason why God created you the way that you are. Embrace it, enjoy it, and from that place, you will be able to love other people as well.
Okay. What is the right time, in your personal opinion, to have a love relationship?
So the right time to have a love relationship is when you have built, first of all, the emotional capacity, right? The mental capacity, the financial capacity, and the spiritual capacity. Okay. So you can ask.
No, continue.
Oh, okay. All right, okay, that's fine. Okay. So most times people think that it's about age. It's not necessarily about age.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Aha. Most people perceive it as age and not status, like your position at the time. Yeah. Because you could be at the right age for marriage,
exactly,
but not have the means supporting that marriage.
Yes. You might have grown in terms of chronologically age-wise. However, some people you find at 30 still doesn't have the emotional capacity to sustain a relationship. So that is why it's important for you to realize that finding the right person it's not about finding the right person, but it is about becoming the right person. So what that means is that it's important for you to invest in yourself as early as possible, as much as possible, so that you can grow in capacity as much as possible, and then you will find yourself being able to sustain a relationship. Because a relationship comes with a lot. It's demanding on you emotionally. It's demanding on you mentally, right? But especially for us as guys, it's also demanding financially. I know for women as well, but especially us as guys. Yeah, you're the one paying for the date. You're the one who is buying Valentine's gifts and all these things. So it's demanding on you in all these areas. So the right time is really about growing enough capacity for you to be able to sustain all those areas.
Okay. Among the things between love, infatuation, and attraction is the most confusing for the younger generation because they mix this up in terms of what they want in a relationship.
Yes. The most confusing is infatuation. Because of the gift and the curse of social media. I think social media, we need to look at it from both sides. It's not bad, it's not good. It has got good aspects, it has got bad aspects. But because of some of the bad aspects of social media, we are bombarded with highlights, right? I think at some point we used to call them highlight reels. Then now we just started calling them reels, right? So these are the best of the best that anyone has to offer at any given point in time. So if I'm going on a date or I'm at a restaurant, I'm only going to show you the best angles, the best food. Even when I'm taking the pictures of that food, I'm looking at the best shot. So, and that is what people put out there. And so that has got a tendency of getting people to be attracted to a lot of things at the same time, hence infatuation. Infatuation, which is really an intense liking towards something. So that's something that people, particularly of your generation, of your time, of course we are both in the same generation, but in terms of your age group, have to pay attention to.
Okay. Can you explain to the audience what love is not?
Okay.
Because they confuse it a lot.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Love is not peer pressure, okay, right? Love is not the things that you do as a result of what everyone else is doing. Love is not an emotion that you feel. Just because you have strong emotional feelings towards someone, it does not mean that you love them. Because people also have strong emotional feelings towards their favorite teams, whether you want to talk of football, basketball. So it's not just about emotions. It's not just about feelings. So it's important for you to differentiate that. And like you said already, love is not infatuation. Love is not attraction. If you're really attracted to someone, it does not mean that you love them. You are just attracted to them. Yeah.
What are the benefits of waiting for the right time to be in a relationship?
Okay. One of them is that you get to protect your future. You must realize that each and every single one of us, as long as we are still breathing, we have tomorrow. That means that we have a future. So as you wait for the right time, we are not saying that relationships are evil. What we're just saying is that wait for the right time. What we're just saying is that allow timing to be your friend, so that at the end of the day, you can focus on the things that are important now, and that will set you up for the next phase of your life, for the next season of your life, so that you can keep growing and improving as each season comes. So one of the main benefits is that it allows you to focus on the future.
Okay. I'm going to add on to this question.
Okay.
For those people who worry, like, if I wait too long, I might miss my chance, or I waited too long, there's no market for me anymore. Like, everyone at my age has already done this, or is already in a relationship, so there's no one for me. What would you have to say to them?
One thing that you will learn is, as you grow, is that what's meant to be yours is meant to be yours. What's meant to be yours, you are in competition with no one for that thing. So if there is a person that you are going to eventually meet, and the two of you are going to align spiritually, your goals are going to be heading in the same direction, you must not live from a place of fear that someone else is going to get that person. What is meant for you is meant for you. That's why the Bible says that there is a season for everything, a season for sowing, a season for reaping, and all the other things that the Bible says, right? But apart from that, one of the things that I like telling particularly young men is that when you are busy chasing after a girl at the wrong time, there will come a time when she's getting ready to marry now. She will be going after the guys who were going after the dreams when you were going after her. I know that's a mouthful, but what I'm basically saying is that at this particular point in time, there are two categories of people. At your age, there are people who are going after girls, and there are people who are going after their dreams. But the girls at your age are not ready to marry right now. But there will come a time when they are ready to marry. When they are ready to marry, the kind of guy that they will be interested in getting married to is the kind of guy who was chasing his dreams whilst you were chasing her. Why? Because that guy has focused so much on his dreams, he has evolved so much, he has grown so much, he has so much value in and around himself that she can't help but be attracted to him. So the question is, which category of guy do you want to fall into? Do you want to chase her at the wrong time, or do you want to be the kind of guy that even she would be willing to chase when she is ready to get married?
So do you think it'd be possible for someone to do both?
Both as in?
Chase their goals and then also chase after the same partner they were looking for back then.
Is it possible for you to juggle 10 balls at the same time?
No, but...
Yeah. So the thing is, when you look at relationships are complex. When you're talking of a relationship, you're not talking of you engaging an inanimate object. You're not talking about you engaging a glass or you engaging a robot. You're talking of engaging an entire human being. And so that comes with so many complexities. So whilst I'm saying that I'm in a relationship with one person, it's the same as me engaging in so many activities at the same time. Because you have to think about that person's emotional well-being. You have to think about, how do I make her happy when she's sad? You have to think about, when is her birthday? When is our anniversary? When is Valentine's? What date are we going to have? You're going to have to think about what happens when she starts liking another guy. What happens when you start liking another girl? What happens when... So what I'm just trying to say is, a relationship is so complex. So being in a relationship is actually like juggling 5 things at the same time.
Okay. How would you advise people to wait for love? Because most people, they'll say, I'm waiting, but they'll be doing nothing and not preparing for it. Maybe they'll say they're chasing their goals, but they also have this idea of finding someone later on, but do nothing about it.
Yeah. So one of the ways that you wait is by setting boundaries. Boundaries are not a bad thing. Because think about you building a mansion, right? Some 3-story building with 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a swimming pool, all these things that you would furnish the home with, right? And then you don't put a wall fence. What that means is that because of your lack of boundaries, you are exposed. Anyone has access to you. And so that's the benefit of boundaries. As you are adding value to your life, as you are growing, as you are investing, as you are improving your life, set boundaries for yourself. And that boundary might simply look like, what do I want to be, or who do I want to be 5 years from now? What does it take for me to get there? And then you only entertain the things that will help you to get there. And your boundaries are up for anything else that falls outside of the parameter of what you need to do in order for you to get to where you want to go. So that's one practical way. Set boundaries for yourself. The other way is surround yourself with like-minded people. You cannot say that I want to go to Copper Belt when you are in a car full of people that are heading to the Southern Province. It's important for you to surround yourself with like-minded people, people who are heading in the same direction as you. But again, that starts with you knowing the direction that you are going in the first place.
If this question is personal, you should tell me, because it feels personal when I write it down.
Okay.
In your experience in this life, in this field, what would you say, or through your journey, would you say was your greatest blunder that later on became your greatest strength?
My greatest blunder that later on became my greatest strength. I think my greatest blunder in life when I was young was not being intentional about actualizing the potential that I had. I was very lackadaisical, or I was very laissez-faire. I'm trying to use simple words. I was very relaxed, okay, when it came to my potential and what I could actually accomplish in life. And so I was not intentional about investing in myself, investing in my potential. However, that has become one of my greatest strengths, and that is why I'm even talking to you right now, because now I want to do the reverse. At any given opportunity, I'm constantly investing in myself. There is never a time where I am not doing something that is adding value to me. When I'm driving, I don't just drive and worry about traffic. When I'm driving, I'm always listening to a podcast. I'm always listening to an audio book. When most people are seated on social media and I'm probably reading a book. So it has become one of my greatest strengths, because now I'm constantly asking myself, what potential am I sitting with right now, and how can I actualize it? And I'm also passionate about making sure that young people like yourself don't make the mistake that I made of not being intentional about the potential that they have at your age.
Okay. I think that will be all for today, because I've run out of questions to ask you.
Okay.
You answered most of them so well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun. It's been fun.
Don't forget to like and share. This is the Inside Chadley House School podcast.